Hey everyone, thank you for joining me in another video of Investing Kev. In today's episode, I want to go over HUYA, ticker HUYA. HUYA is considered the Twitch of China, so we'll take a look at their company overview, their financials, and they just recently came out with their Q3 earnings report. We will also take a look at their growth catalyst for this company, risk factors, price targets, and I will wrap it up with my final thoughts. I haven't shown this in a while, but if you want to follow along with my investing journey, you can check out my spreadsheet below in the description box. I am investing in 4 common investing strategies and just slowly dollar cost averaging into them every 2 weeks. I just want to show beginner investors and any investor out there different styles of investing and how each one is doing compared to one another. The portfolio also has watch lists, both growth and dividend stocks that I've put together myself. So if you want a pretty substantial list of major growth stocks out there or dividend stocks, feel free to check this out. And if you like my content, please like this video for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think. We recently surpassed 250 subscribers. I'm very thankful for everyone for tuning in, showing support, being great to engage with. It truly means a lot to me. I really hope that this channel has helped you in some way. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter profile is @InvestingKev. Alright everyone, let's get started and learn about HUYA. Looking at HUYA's company profile, HUYA is the #1 game live streaming platform in China. As a pioneer and market leader, they are well positioned to expand further in the rapidly growing game live streaming market in China. They cooperate with esports event organizers as well as major game developers and publishers, and they have developed esports live streaming as one of the most popular content genres on their platform. Building on their success in game live streaming, they have also extended their content to entertainment genres such as talent shows, anime, and outdoor activities. They have created an engaged, interactive, and immersive community for game enthusiasts of China's young generation. Their rich and high quality game live streaming content is a magnet for users who share common interests to connect and share their passions on their platform. Their users interact with one another with the support of their platform's wide array of innovative and appealing social functions, such as bullet chatting, real-time commenting, and gifting. Such real-time interactions on their platform cultivate a strong sense of belonging, which effectively increases their user stickiness and time spent. HUYA also operates globally as Nemo TV. I went on Nemo and saw some of the regions I can go to. Right now, I'm in Brazil, but I can see that Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Turkey, Mexico, and Morocco are some of their hot areas. And if I go to more, I can see countries in the Middle East, in America, Asia, Europe, and Latin and South America. Looking at their financials, you can see over a 5-year time frame the massive jump in their revenues from 796.9 million RMB to over 10.9 billion RMB in 2020. That's attributed to live streaming and advertising and others. You can see their live streaming revenue and advertising all going up every single year. Their gross profit has gone up over time. And if you take a look at their net loss or net income, this company has been profitable for a couple of years since 2019. In 2020, they had a net income of 884.1 million RMB, which is about 135.5 million US dollars. And looking at their balance sheet, their total assets have gone up considerably compared to their liabilities, which is a good thing to see as this company is financially healthy and has a cash to invest and expand their business. In 2016, they only had 6.1 million renminbi in cash and cash equivalents. In 2020, they had 3.3 billion renminbi to invest. HUYA just recently released their Q3 earnings report this week, and I want to take a look at that. Their total net revenues for Q3 increased 5.7% to 2.97 billion renminbi, which was up from 2.81 billion renminbi in 2020. Their net income was 524.4 million renminbi for the third quarter compared to 253 renminbi in 2020, which was an increase of 107%. Their average mobile monthly active users increased 14.7% to 85.1 million people, which is up from 74.2 million people in third quarter of 2020. And the total number of paying users stayed stagnant at 6 million people, which was the same exact number they saw in 2020. And the CEO of HUYA had to say this: "In light of the dynamic business environment, reinforcing our competitive advantages is pivotal to our continuing success. In this spirit, we will strive to promote new game launches, further enrich our content library, and advance product and service upgrades through innovation to meet diverse user demands as we continue to ensure a great user experience." A few notable things from the Q3 report was that live streaming revenues decreased by 2.1%. This was primarily due to lower average spending per paying user on HUYA Live. On the flip side, their advertising and other revenues increased by 137.1%. This is primarily driven by the revenues from licensing of content. Their cost of revenues increased by 12.6%. Their gross profit decreased by 18.8%, primarily due to the increased cost of revenues driven by higher revenue sharing fees and content costs. Their research and development expenses increased by 12.9%. Their sales and marketing expenses increased by 59.5%, and their general and administrative expenses decreased by 32.6%. Even though HUYA is currently a profitable growth company, there is a lot of stuff that they need to do to continue building up their company and accelerate their growth phase. I want to take a look at some growth catalysts for this company. What are things that I'm excited about when it comes to HUYA? Just recently, Edward Gaming, a professional esports organization out of Shanghai, upset Damwon Kia in the League of Legends World 2021 Championship. What's crazy about this is that there were hundreds and hundreds of millions of people who tuned into this in China alone. In China, HUYA had 100 million people tuning into the live stream of the championship. And when you look at Bilibili, another Chinese tech company, they had peaked at 500 million people. Esports is here to stay and it is not going anywhere. Looking at this report from Nico, there are approximately 720 million gamers in China. 97% of people aged 18 to 24 are gamers, 94% of people aged 25 to 30 are gamers, and 90% of people aged 31 to 35 are gamers. 48% of gamers in China are female, with more than 18% spending more than 30 hours per week on games. 80% of gamers watch live streaming, which is 576 million gamers. 70% of them play esports, which is about 504 million people. That is incredible numbers, which are backed by future projections. The esports market reached $1 billion in 2020, having a 16% compound annual growth rate since 2015. It is expected to grow to $2.1 billion in 2025 and reach nearly $4 billion in 2030. From 2020 to 2025, it will have a compound annual growth rate of 14.5%. From 2025 to 2030, there will be a 13.6% compound annual growth rate. Another catalyst is HUYA's commitment to making sure they remain the best live streaming platform in China. Back in April, they inked a 5-year deal where they're paying $310 million for the exclusive League of Legends rights in China. From my perspective, HUYA is showing that it is doing what is needed to grow their brand, retain customers, and be the best platform out there in growing esports. What are the current risk factors? The biggest one is government. Look at this Fortune article. Gaming addiction is a huge thing in China. The government in China over the years has called video games spiritual opium, which has affected people's eyesight as well as their education studies in schools. The article states that China has over 720 million gamers, and roughly 110 million of them are under the age of 18. Chinese state media reports that 13.2% of China's minors play games for over 2 hours a day on weekdays, amounting to tens of millions of children. A recent survey of 4,000 video gamers over the age of 18 in 8 countries showed that Chinese gamers played more hours of video games per week than any other country. Chinese gamers played an average of 12.4 hours per week, exceeding the US average of 7.7 hours per week and the global average of 8.5 hours per week. And back in August, China banned kids from playing online games for more than 3 hours per week. According to a translated notice about the new rules, people under 18 will be allowed to play video games 1 hour a day between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., weekends and legal holidays. The agency built the rules as a way to safeguard children's physical and mental health. There are over 110 million minors that play video games in China today, and we expect the new limits to lead to a decline in the number of players and reduction in the amount of time and money spent in gaming by those under 18. However, we do not expect the decline in spend to have a significant material impact on the bottom line of game companies, given limits on time and spending have already been in place for minors for the past 2 years. Therefore, we expect a softer impact on overall growth rates as spending among minors was already low. And Tencent, a major tech giant in China, has previously said only a small amount of gaming revenue comes from younger players in China. In the second quarter, 2.6% of gross game receipts in China were from players under 16 years old. Looking at the headlines out there, it was doom and gloom, but when you dive deeper, this is a pretty minor impact. Granted, it will impact companies out there in China, but not as big as it's made out to be. The second risk factor is competition. Esports is growing rapidly, and a lot of companies want to find their way to get their share of the market. Douyu, ticker DOYU, is a competitor to HUYA. These companies were supposed to merge back in the summer, but the government didn't allow it because it would have been a monopoly. Bilibili, ticker BILI, is another main competitor. It's not just Douyu or Bilibili. There's Tencent, NetEase, and you have to look internationally. HUYA does have Nemo TV internationally, but Twitch is out there, and so many other streaming platforms are going to come up over the years. There's going to be multiple winners out there, but that can definitely hurt HUYA if they're unable to have their live streaming revenue continue to grow. Ad revenues may shift elsewhere, and paying users may decline. There's a lot of growth for HUYA still, and it's ultimately up to their management team and making the right decisions to guide them to retain their status as the #1 streaming platform while fending off competitors domestically and internationally. Looking at their 12-month price target, 16 analysts have offered their price target with the median value of $10.12, which is actually less than its current price of $10.13. The high is $23.05, which is a 127.5% increase, and the low is $7.01. In my most recent video, 5 undervalued Chinese stocks under $10, I had HUYA as one of those stocks. In my opinion, the stock seems like a solid long-term hold. With that being said, I am pretty confident that if the market crashed, this stock will not see much growth during a recession. People will move their money towards recession-proof stocks, stocks that are defensive, and HUYA does not make that list. They had a great Q3 earnings report. They'll likely see a solid Q4, but if you're in this for the long term, dollar cost averaging is always a great strategy where you may be rewarded 3 to 5 years from now. Looking at their year-to-date stock chart, back in mid-February, they were at $34. Since then, this stock has lost almost $24, which is about a 70.2% decrease. Right now, it is $10.13. Overall, for full disclosure, I do not own HUYA, but this is a stock that I've had on my watch list for quite some time. I don't play much video games, but I am fully aware of esports. I know a lot of people who play League of Legends and other major video games. I follow Formula One racing, and I know that there's a growing Formula One esports racing league. People love video games, it's a global thing, and HUYA has that international exposure. I will likely initiate a position eventually into this stock, it's just that right now I have other stocks that are much higher on my list that I want to build their positions. So let me know in the comments what you think about HUYA. Do you like this stock, and what do you think about its future? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to this channel. Come join the community as we learn together, share things together, and become more knowledgeable and better investors. As always, thank you for tuning in, stay safe, and I'll see you all next time.